Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are finally into our last stream game of the day. It's gonna be Baby Shark up against Flamingo. So we're gonna have Baby Shark that's gonna be having that first pick. They're gonna straight ban the Florentino. Oops, looks like they're not. They will be going for a Yena ban instead. And we saw what Yena could have done in the previous game. You know, Yena is just a really strong. She's kind of like a warrior assassin, if you put it that way. Just pretty decent all rounder. And like I said, a huge amount of AoE damage as well. With both the full moon as well as the spinning sickle. So we'll take a look at the current banning phase coming out. We're gonna see Leonana getting banned out as well. Same goes, Zip will be banned out. So looks like we're gonna have Flamingo take out the very hero that won them the game in the first round up against Black Cat. So just an update for the rest of brackets in case you guys missed that out before the break. We have V Gaming up against Time Long Go. Flamingo vs Baby Shark, which is the game that's happening right now. And then tomorrow we will also have QS Family up against the winner of No Name vs Pixies. So Omen gonna be the first pick for the side of Baby Shark. We're gonna see Flamingo ban out Trixies. Zip getting banned out as well. I think Krizik is one of those heroes where you can't afford giving away because of how good he is in team fight. Like he's like a hyper support kind of role, and he still does decent amount of damage. So that's kind of the reason why you always see them getting banned out. So it looks like they are contemplating on the Irie pickup. I think Irie is really good, right? The clear wave is pretty much the same as Narcroft. The only thing is that Narcroft is definitely way more mobile compared to Irie. This is the reason why no one plays Irie anymore. In the past, you know, before Narcroft really popped off, Irie was the one that you really want to go because of her ultimate. You know, the fact that she's able to go in, do a lot of damage. She has a stun, you know, decent amount of wave clear speed as well, decent amount of mobility. But then, you know, Narcroft is just the champ in terms of split pushing, you know, the ability to just cover the entirety of the map. So that's kind of the reason why everyone decides to go for Narcroft instead of Irie nowadays. So we're gonna see Varus as well as Ignis getting picked up by Flamingo, while Baby Shark gonna settle. I think Cricknut will do pretty well, especially against an Ignis. You definitely want to jump the back line, remove Ignis before he does a ton of damage. And I'm also not too sure if they want to lick that. I'm not too sure if they want to lick that Elsu, because you know we have seen that Flamingo are really comfortable in Elsu. You know, the ability of them to just keep the Elsu alive, be it using the zip, be it just putting him so far behind that there's no way you can kind of reach him. So I think those are the kind of key things that Baby Shark has to look out for if they have been paying attention to the previous game. But they were playing their game as well, so it's very hard to say whether or not they've done their homework, their opponents. But obviously picking up the Creek Knight does help for a little bit. You know, you jump in, you use a terrifying plague, and then you kind of just drop your you kind of use a drone drop first, right? So you're in the air, you immediately dive into the AoE. You use your Terrifying Plague as well as your Horn Rush to kind of finish off the job. He's kind of like a one hitter that kind of impact. You know, you dive backline, just boom, and try to remove that. Try to blow up the mage before he can even do anything. And of course, you know, if you do pick up an Alice, and Alice does really well against Quick Knock as well, just because she has the Sunshine. So what that does is that kind of just helps to protect your teammates whenever the Quick Knock comes in, and you can just, you know, you first off you just drop your sunshine, rather than your sunshine, but your friendship, and then you just drop your sunshine on top of the Quick Knock as well as the hits of it, and then he suddenly becomes really paper. Not that he's not paper enough, he's really a paper hero by nature. And now looks like we're gonna see Azil get picked up by FLAMINGO. They're gonna ban out the Ras. That's a good ban as well. You know, you don't want a Ras against a Varus and Ignis. They can kind of push you back. Same goes with Azil. Basically any hero that can kind of put you out of position, that those are the kind of heroes that you don't want to play against, especially in the lineup that FLAMINGO are setting themselves up for. They pick up Ignis or Varus. All these heroes kind of need a frontliner, and yeah, they definitely do not want to deal with a Russ. And it's pretty interesting to see Ignis as well, because we haven't really seen too much of Ignis. I don't think we have seen. Yeah, I don't think we have seen too much of Ignis, but you know, Ignis is just so hard to deal with. We do see an Omar getting banned out from the side of Baby Shark. So maybe they don't want to do too much with those stuns coming out. They ban out the Crixie for the side of FLAMINGO, which brings me back to the point of Ignis. So Ignis is just a really good AoE damage mage. I mean, he has his ultimate, you know, the Holy Embers. I mean, it's true damage, so it's gonna be so painful. There's really nothing. It just burns through all your HP and I mean, burns through all your armor. And then he also has Rain of Fire, which is kind of used like a zoning to, you know, whenever you want to. If you want to take a tower, you just drop the Rain of Fire either on top of the tower or just slightly behind. You kind of force opponents to either take the damage of Rain of Fire, or they have to walk through it to try to get to you. Then you also have kind of like a Fire Crash. So what Ignis really brings to the table is someone that can really zone out the opponents. You know, you throw your Fire Crash, you kind of split them up, or either that or you just drop your Rain of Fire, and you know, if it really goes to the gutters, you really need to fight it out, you just drop your Holy Embers, blow someone up, and you know, you can just let your Varus as well as your Zeal just drop to the backline and do their work. So Zeal also has a ton of burst. So if you look at the lineup of FLAMINGO now, they have a lot of burst damage. I mean, we talked about Varus in the opening stages of the tournament. You know, the fact that she has Venom to just jump in and then kind of just use Serpent's Embrace to zone everyone else. So they have a lot of heroes that can zone people out. The question is, are they tanky enough? Do they have enough frontliners to kind of soak up the fight? And true enough, they pick up a Teamy to actually deal with it, and really good ban as well. They ban out the border coming in from the side of Baby Shark, because they recognize the fact as well. They know that, you know, FLAMINGO, they are really paper lineup, and you know, you see Ignis, a Varus, a Zeal, not too much heroes that can soak up a lot of damage. So you gotta start banning out the tanks, and border is one of the heroes that you have to look out for. And I like the fact that for the side of FLAMINGO, they pick up the Teamy. Decent frontliner, decent CC, you know, he can just walk around, gets his lens, poke around. So yeah, I like this draft coming up for FLAMINGO, but I gotta say, Baby Shark's draft not too bad as well, not too bad. They have an Annette, they have a Crickneck, they have an Omen, so they definitely do have their lineup kinda, I wouldn't say take too much damage, but they definitely do have a decent amount of team fight capability. I mean, it's pretty balanced as compared to how FLAMINGO's lineup currently is. Like, if you look at FLAMINGO's lineup, it's very straightforward, right? We have a ton of AoE damage, We have a ton of burst in the Ignis and Varus and Zeal, so we just throw our skills and then we get the teammates to soak up the damage. That is the draft that's looking to be for FLAMINGO right now. But if you look at to how Baby Shark is playing, it's a little bit different. They picked up the Delchan as well as the Valheim to kind of make up for the fact they don't have too much of a CC other than Omen. So I like that. I mean, they have the Annette as someone that is a really hardcore support, decent amount of damage as a support hero as well. She kind of has that AoE damage with the Hurricane Wall. You know, it has the barrier as well. Provides movement speed. You know, what's not to love about her? There's a reason why she's either pick or ban in the first 2 games that we saw. But you add on a Delchan to Valheim and suddenly your AoE control looks pretty balanced. So previously I was talking about the Ignis and the Varus and Zeal and how they have so much damage and AoE, you know, on and on and on, and Baby Shark kind of compensates for that. But now, I don't know, man. The Fennec pick. This is a really greedy lineup coming in from the side of FLAMINGO. Like, they have a lot of bursts because of that Ignis and Fennec and Zeal. Like, these 3 have a ton of bursts. Varus has decent damage as a semi-tank as well. You have Timmy, who's like the hardcore tank. And then over to the side of Baby Shark, they have someone that does provide decent amount of CC in Delchan, although she's really squishy, but I would still say that she's pretty viable because of the Omen as well as the Crit Neck. So the way I see how they do it is that they kind of put the Valheim, I wouldn't say in front, but they put the Valheim and the Annette in front to kind of do damage, and then whoever that is willing to dive on them, they just drop, you know, they'll just drop a freezing field, and then a Crit Neck can just dive onto the backline and just do his job of picking up whoever he needs to do. So that's how I see the game is being played. I don't think we'll see too much of an issue early game. I think level 4 for Crit Neck is where we will see that very big deciding factor. That whoever hits that level 4, depending on whether the Zeal or the Crit Neck hits 4, I think this Crit Neck hitting the level 4 is where we'll see the spike of the game. And then, you know, how well Crit Neck has his first rotation is pretty much going to determine the momentum of this entire, you know, series. So you can definitely see the side of Baby Shark being a lot more protective of their buff as compared to FLAMINGO, and the reason being because they really need the Crit Neck to be level 4, and the only way you can be level 4 in your first rotation is if you pick up all your creeps, right? You clip your first bottom lane jungle, you're like 2 and 3/4, you know, you pick up your other buff, you're like 3.5, and then you pick up the creep and then you're like level 4. So that's the rotation that the Crit Neck kind of needs to make to hit that level 4. Whereas for the side of FLAMINGO, they can play it a little bit chill, right? They can kind of slowly play it out, create a jungle, you know, wait for the Zeal to hit the level 4 as well. But at the same time, he has a higher wave clear speed. But I definitely do rate the Crit Neck to be a more dangerous hero at level 4. So with that, Crit Neck is gonna hit his 4. And oh, this might be bad for I mean, she has no idea that there's heroes right there. They kind of reveal themselves 4 heroes at the top, preparing for the Abyssal Dragon. And they do take note of that. It's not the Spirit Dragon, alright, it's the Spirit Sentinel, and they definitely will secure that one in the back. But Butter already dropped to a quarter of HP, and it is the Crit Neck that tries to bring him down. Ignis kind of drops that flame as well, and this is a really bad team fight for Baby Shark. And it looks like preparing for the Spirit Sentinel was definitely worth it after all. I thought it was a Abyssal Dragon. I did not pay notice to the fact that was my fault. They went to top lane, they kind of prepared for the fight, and then when it came down to the last second, you know, the Ignis kind of dropped that rain of fire, which I talked about early game, and that you can see the damage starting to come through, right? You got a Zeal that's got so much damage on one single target, and then you've got Ignis that kind of controls the entire area with AoE. You got Teamy soaking up damage for you, and FLAMINGO wasn't even there. FLAMINGO was just up lane for 1v1 against a Val. And now we can see the Blissful Dragon dead taken up by the side of Baby Shark. So a little bit of a mini comeback, I would say. I mean, that was still a really good team fight coming out from Flamingos, because, you know, it's trio, you know, you pick up the Spirit Sentinel. And now it's really important that, you know, the side of Flamingos just maintain the momentum. As long as none of the heroes constantly get caught up by the Craigknock, I think they should be fine. We saw in the first team fight, like the Craigknock failed to actually just try to dive on. I'm not sure who tried to dive on. I think he actually tried to take out the Zeal, but the Zeal was just a little bit too far back. So he kind of had to switch targets. The Ignis was really far back as well. You know, good positioning coming up from Flamingo throughout, and then, you know, the team is just standing in front just to keep himself alive. And the good thing about Teamy is that his ultimate can you know, make sure that one teammate doesn't die for a certain amount of time, and that's really important. That's crucial. It's kind of like a type changing kind of ultimate. Yeah, but like I said, you know, Flamingo's draft is so straightforward. Like, she doesn't have too much. Like, look at this. They just need to blow whoever they meet up. Phoenix just gonna probably get that kill. I think there's no way she can add out one more hit. Should do it quick, and just nice, just out of range. And now they are looking to turn the fight one stack on the behind, but they're not gonna finish the job. So that was pretty close. I mean, that could have been really bad. I would just say really bad, but that could have been a pick off for the side. Fenrir talent going to be taken up by the Fennec as well. If he had that Fenrir talent, I think that should be having the kill. Fenrir talent coming out for the behind as well. Butter is just going to be making sure that they clear up the top lane, make sure that, you know, if you look at what Flamingo is doing, they just want to maintain the momentum, clear the waves, make sure they get caught up, and that's their win condition, right? As long as the Craigknock is not able to really dive on anyone, they kind of just negate the fact that they pick up the Craigknock. Whereas on the side of Fennec, like, look at that, they just burst the Anna down without even have to worry too much. They did pick up the Burning Cape onto Omen.
Come hither.
She's kind of like a core item, so no surprises there. Look at how quickly the dragon is. This is the strat, right? Like I said, straightforward is the name of the game. We'll go best for the side of Black. Oh, Baby Shark, a little bit of trouble down the mid lane. Omen getting caught up, but yeah, I knew something there. They nearly managed to pick up the Zeal. One more shot would have done the trick, but a little bit too far. But yeah, it's not so straightforward for the side of Baby Shark, because they have to play a bit more cautious. If the Craigknock is not able to pick someone in the back, preferably either the Ignis or maybe even the Fennec. If he's in a bad position, then, you know, it's really hard for them to win a team fight, because they have really squishy heroes as well. The only hero that's really able to soak up damage for them is the Omen. You can see the Craigknock now in top lane. Looks like we're gonna see the rest come in to kind of support Timmy. Just holding out the damage right there, holding a little bit of time. And the stun will come in 3v4. But Fennec still holding on, still keeping up alive. True team is ultimate, but not for long. They will have the Fennec sacrifice, but in trade, FLAMINGO will walk away with that middle tower. It looks like they want to go for more Ignis to drop that rain of fire right there. But Valheim more than happy to play along. He gets one. He may be able to get second one. No, he doesn't. He doesn't even complete the kill of the Fennec. And that's going to be a really vital kill for South FLAMINGO. Because of that, Fennec's able to not only take the top tower, but buy enough space for Zeo to actually pick up the Abyssal Dragon. So that's 2 Abyssal Dragons in the way of FLAMINGO's now. Currently leading by 6k. We do see the Frost Armor coming up behind, so he's playing more. I think they're just preparing for them to kind of dive in, just to prepare for the Fennec. I mean, you do need a Frost Cap armor just to deal with the Fennec's attack speed, because there's no way you can kind of sustain against him if it's just like pulling you to the ground. And this is a really early Dark Slayer, 9 minutes and they are feeling comfortable. I mean, they have a Fennec, and why not? They will get the Dark Slayer, they will back up the heal, and they will pick up the Spirit Sentinel along the way. And like this coming from FLAMINGO, they know their power spike, they know that 9 minutes in, they have more than enough damage in the lineup to actually pick up, and they will go for it. So 9 minutes in, they've really picked up the Dark Slayer. If they want to pick up a fight, they actually can. But here comes the advantage of picking up a quick now. So even if you have the Dark Slayer buff, you have to be careful to make sure that your squishy backline doesn't get picked up. If the quickling does manage to jump with the Ignis or Fennec, he might still be able to get a straight kill right there. And now we're going to see them get the freeze on. They do manage to bring down the Fennec. Kimi's ulti is activated, but they bring him down for a second time. But here comes the turn of fight. It will be at the front, and the Zeo will be able to get a kill onto the net. Is it enough though? Omen still holding up the wave in the middle of the lane. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's not over. They still have one more Drake pushing down the top lane. Omen trying to buy some time with the zone, but it's not enough. They will get brought down. Snow has to roll back. She has to try to sustain for this one. No, that's going to be 3 members down for the count. Krigna can't even do anything, and has no choice but to watch her teammates go down. And that's a triple kill, not only for the Zeo, but they will pick up that tier 3 tower in the top lane. And this Zenith is starting to look really monstrous. I mean, 7, 0 and 3, counting 8.3k. I mean, she is 2.5k more than the highest net worth member. And they just picked up the Abyssal Dragon as well. Fennec playing a little bit with fire, nearly getting caught up by Omen right there.
A blue team tower has been destroyed.
So looks like we're gonna see a little bit of a pause come true. Nope, they're gonna just start straight off. I mean, at this point of time, FLAMINGO are just really ahead. Like, the only way I see Baby Shark can having a way back into this game is if FLAMINGOs make a mistake. Like, look at that. They, as long as FLAMINGOs play smartly, you know, try to tear Baby Shark apart in terms of lane management, then they will be able to slowly chip those towers away. They have the Fennec, they have the Zeo, they can easily take towers. And they have Ignis as well to kind of zone them away. They nearly pick up the 0. That's really important. They have to try to complete those kills right there. And now they will bite back. Look at how quickly the Fennec managed to bring down the Omen. And more importantly, they do not lose anyone. 2-4-0. Pretty sure they will go for more. They get one tower at the bottom lane. They might get the second one in a quick succession. Fennec already boss out. They might be able to get around her. Yes, he does. Kringnet can't even jump in because there's just no way. Oh, Diao-chan! Nice! Ultimate coming in from the Chan spot to actually pick up that Q.
Ultimate.
And they're trying to sweep up from here. But Zil will make sure that mid tower fall. They will leave the last hit down to the tower, or rather to the crypts. And those minions will start to push down, but they do not need the minions. They can end the game right here, right now.
Legendary. Shut down.
Alright, so really quick game there. I mean, 13 minutes, nothing much that you can really say about the game, because that was just how quick the game kind of went. Like 13 minutes in, they're pretty much just running riot, and you can see how quickly the Fennec just managed to farm. Like, he got a really quick Farius talent, and then he just started into a Clevis Sancti, and then he went into Slick Sting. So like the flash farm coming in from the draft of the side of Flamingos, I gotta admit that draft is pretty greedy, because if you look at how the draft lineup, they have a really paper lineup. Like Fennec, Zil, Ignis, all heroes can be burst down by the Quick Dark. The Omen can kind of catch them. The Valheim can do pretty well with them as well. But the downside is that if the Quick Dark doesn't have a good early game, and in this case, Flamingo did a really good job at hindering him from getting any kills, then it becomes really bad. I mean, she tried her best, but she couldn't even get the kill onto the Zil, even after the Zil dived in the tower. So that kind of shows how far, you know, Flamingo were ahead in terms of not only the farm, but in terms of positioning, in terms of the draft. So that being said, congratulations to Flamingo, but the game is not over yet. We'll go for a short commercial break, and then when we're back, we'll bring you game 2 between Baby Shark and Flamingo. Alright, so welcome back to game 2. This is Flamingo up against Baby Shark. We just saw Flamingo had a really clinical game up against Baby Shark as well. Not too much of a mistake. Looks like they're gonna be banning out both the Zig. And I gotta say, in the previous game, I mean, what can I say? Flamingo was just really clinical. I can't really spot a mistake they made. Not even in the early game. That was how good they were as a team. But this time around, they're gonna ban out the Varus, as well as the Omen. So they might be trying to go something a little bit more close, maybe an Aram. Not too sure about that, but Murat is still available on the table. They might just want to go for Yina. So it looks like, yep, they will lock in the Liliana, which means that Roxy as well as Liliana will get picked up on the side of Baby Shark. I can't understand why. You know, if you look at Flamingo's games, they really do prioritize a lot on picking up the Yena. I mean, the only downside about Yena is that she's pretty weak early game, right? Like, you know, early game she doesn't really have much. Like, a lot of the kit isn't able to put too much damage out. But then, you know, when you hit the level 4, when you have that when you have the full moon, as well as the spinning shackle, you know, you have a decent amount of damage output. Then she becomes a really good hero to use. You know, decent amount of clear wave. In fact, really strong clear wave if you compare to a lot of the other heroes out there. And I don't even consider a melee hero because, I mean, if you look at the kit that she has, like Full Moon, Spinning Shackle, as well as not Crescent Strike, but, you know, Spinning Shackle as well as Full Moon, then she's pretty much a range hero. Like, 2 out of 3 of heroes are range, you know, and she has a dash that kind of closes the distance as well, so that's pretty good for a melee hero. Then Yena, they will pick up the Diao-chan as well as the Alice to follow up, so I don't want to say they're mocking, but they are pretty much picking up the draft that we saw coming up from Baby Shark in the previous game. Remember, this is best of 3, so if Flamingo win this game 2, then Baby Shark will be out of the tournament and Flamingo will head into our semi-finals as well. Remember, we will be streaming the semi-finals as well as the third placing match right here, same time. And I think if we take some reference coming from the first game, we can kind of see that Flamingo is the kind of team that they don't want too much of a hassle when it comes down to executing the draft. Why I say that, if we look at game 1, their draft was really straightforward. Like, a lot of bursts, not too much CC, but just right enough to pull off the combo. As long as they get that 1 or 2 stuns in, they are able to just drop their ultimate and just blow up anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. You can be the Omen, you know, you can be and just basically anyone. Like, look at the quick now. He doesn't. She had absolutely no way. Like, had absolutely no way, and not by any fault of her own. She had no way to even dive in the backline, because the moment she dives in, you know, you have a teammate that's providing that front line, and you have to go through a teammate, you have to go through a Zeal, you know, you have to go through so much damage, you have to go through a Fennec as well, just to try to reach the Ignis. And even if you go for the Ignis, then the Ignis will blow the rest of the teammates up by using Firestorm, as well as Rain of Fire, as well as his Holy Ember. So those skills are really painful, especially in a team fight. So they had that perfect balance in the sense that they had really strong offensive capabilities. And looks like we're gonna see the Astrid as well as the Elsu getting banned out, which I think is pretty surprising for me, because I know, you know, we know that Elsu is just a really strong hero, but it's understandable. So it looks like Valheim and Murat is gonna bet out. So we haven't seen a Murat today. I'm very disappointed. But the good thing is, you see quite a wide variety of heroes in the opening day of FSL. Pardon me, man. that Murat, man. I mean, I'm still thinking about the previous game about how almost flawlessly that Flamingo played. But coming to this game, it looks like we will be seeing a Roxy. Zio gets picked up as well, so I'm pretty sure, you know, Baby Shark, they want to abuse the Zio that Flamingo did in the previous game. And I was gonna touch a little bit more on Roxy as well, because you know Roxy, you know, she's always here and there, she's always around. She's never like the hero that you must pick. Like it was when she first came up, but you know, now with the new addition of heroes, especially with more tanks and supports, you don't really see her getting picked up anymore. But she still always linger around. She's always a really good pocket pick. And this time, you know, the reason why she's always there is because she has, you know, the Agnes grabs, which is her ultimate. So how it works is that you kind of latch onto your opponent, then you just pull the opponent for like 1.5 to 2.5 seconds, depending on how far you are. I mean, the closer you are, the further you can pull. So the max is 2.5 seconds. Just beside her, she pulls the opponent for 2.5 seconds, and then you can pretty much just drag it. And the beauty of her kit is that she has two really good skills that complement her ultimate. And I will start with the second skill, which is the Blazing Shield. So what it does that is it gives her 25% movement speed, and she has a Flame Shield as well. So what it does is that it blocks out damage plus 6% of her maximum health. That's a lot. So she's pretty much I wouldn't say untouchable, but she's not killable when she uses that. She also has Wildfire, so you couple with that, if anyone is nearby with her, she just deals damage on the ground. If you walk on a footpath, you get damage as well. So she's a really tricky hero to deal with. That's one of the newer heroes that we saw today coming out. The rest of the heroes, we have already seen it. We saw Lena, we saw Baldum in the first two games. We saw Fennec with recent Zephyrs. Del-Chan we saw for the first time in the previous game, so I wouldn't touch too much on her. We've seen a couple of Jokers as well. So today, I think we've seen pretty much a very consistent draft coming up from the Vietnam region. I'm not sure if this is the type of heroes that might be played in the upcoming qualifiers, especially Taiwan. You know, we also have the Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand qualifiers. So those are gonna be separate regions. We might see a different type of meta and heroes getting picked out, but for Vietnam, it looks like they focus a lot on heroes that are either really high bursting heroes or heroes that have very high mobility. Some players like to prefer a lot of team fights, so they pick up like a Zephyrs. They picked up heroes that not necessarily not a quick knock, but you see them prioritizing like Alice, Pena. They focus on heroes like Baldum. For Vietnam, they do pick Baldum here and there, but they don't focus too much on it. They're quite flexible on their tanks. They like to pick up like double MMs and sometimes even double mage. In this case, Zio is kind of like a mage. So you pick up a Zio, you pick up Lielana, that's 2 mage for you. You pick up Violet as an MM to couple up with that. So looks like the last pick for the side of Baby Shark is gonna be that Violet. So this is going to be interesting. This potentially could be the last game of the day. If Baby Shark win this, we'll go into game 3. If not, it will be Flamingo heading into the next round.
Welcome to Arena of Valor. Get ready. Minions will be deployed in 5 seconds. Prepare to engage.
So you can kind of see the Roxy, you can kind of really see Roxy using Wallfire, just to try to clear those waves really quickly. and this is going to be quite beneficial to her as well, because you know, in this case, Butter will not be able to just pressure too much. Butter managing her lane pretty well, bringing down the exit down to half HP. And the thing about Roxy is that you gotta manage that cooldown pretty decently, especially when you're going up against Yena, because Yena doesn't really have a mana cost, so she doesn't have to worry about going back to base to heal up the mana. As long as she stays healthy in terms of health, she can perpetually just stay in lane forever, and that is quite annoying to deal with. So for the side of, you know, No Hope, she has to just make sure that she manages the lane, especially her mana pool. Like she can try to spam, that, you know, Qualifier all that she wants, but she has to be a bit careful in terms of managing that cooldown, because once that Wildfire is, and especially that Blazing Shield goes down, then that's the green light for Yena. Yena can just go in, try to blow her up, which you saw just now. You know, she just got down to half HP by using those combos, and she hasn't even got her ulti yet. But being very aggressive against the lane counter, but Desert Dragon's shot by the side of Baby Shark. Baby Shark's focus now is just to clear up those waves. If they can win the next team fight, that would be really good, because, you know, as of now, if you look at the net worth, I mean, they are pretty even. It's still early in the game to say who exactly has a really good lead. You see a little bit of a gang coming in the bot lane. Zephyr's trying to get the first blood in, and yes, they will. Fennec will clean that up. That's gonna be first blood going away with Lyric. She comes in just in time, drops the skill, drops her ultimate, and they pick up the kill onto the Violet. And that is the jackpot as well. Out of everyone, they managed to pick up the MM. That's really good rotation coming in from FLAMINGO. And they really do fancy this Fennec as well. Like, Fennec is just straightforward. And that's the thing that I mentioned about FLAMINGO, is that they like to have a draft that's really straightforward, not too complicated to kind of carry out. Just pick heroes that can blow up your opponents without thinking too much. You know, just go in, you know, immediately just drop Chain, Hammer, Cyclone, and as well as a Team Mark, and you get an easy kill. But for now, it looks like a second Abyssal Dragon going in the way. Baby Shark.
For you.
Team tower has been destroyed.
Looks like they have to be careful of their positioning. Diao-chan does manage to zone the rest of the opponents out. They managed to get to kill on both the Balder. It's well as the Violet, so she will go down for the second time in a row. 3-0 as of now, and it might just go to 4. Zephyrus tries to go in with the ulti, doesn't have enough damage to actually pick up the Liliana, but that doesn't matter though. They managed to keep out the Zero, and they might get a double kill as well. There's 2 more down in the back, 4 in a row, and it looks like the tower will claim Zedek. No, he gets out just in time. And that is 5-0. They do manage to bring the tower down to 4 HP as well, which is a really good job, you know, considering how far they actually dive for this one. Baby Shark. They managed to pick up those 2 Abyssal Dragons, but they are losing out in terms of rotations. You can see them trying to do something up in the top lane. They might be making a planning, just not enough. And here comes the reply coming in from the side of Flamingo. They get the stun in. Dalchan, the stun is good. And Bowder's ultimate to keep his team alive. And they're using this Dalchan really well as well. They're cutting like half the lane, and what this does is that if you try to go back, oh, I might have to hold that thought right there. Roxette is he down in the bottom lane, down to half HP, but not enough damage. Zero popping out the ultimate right here, but same thing, both sides not having enough damage to actually complete the task. But here comes Lana as well as Bowdum. If Butter and Zenix stay too long, they might have to pay with their dear lives, and yes, they will. Zenix will fall. It looks like to trade off, they will pick up that middle tower. It looks like they might be going for more. They managed to steal the Sage Golem away, and that's gonna go in the way of Butter, and that's gonna be Roxy dragging him all the way back to the base. And nothing that the rest of Larik's teammate can do. She was just dragged all the way by Roxy underneath the tier 3 tower.
A red team tower has been destroyed.
So Baby Shark finding a couple of kills in the back, not too bad. While we do see Zephyrus in his jungle clearing duties, he will go for the Missile Dragon. While in top lane, we should see a team fight happening pretty soon. Alice with the ultimate being dropped, but that doesn't matter though. They're trying to zone out the Violet right now. They might be able to pick her up. One more hit. That was just ultimate out of the case, but that doesn't matter though. Pops the first skill, will pick up the Violet, and that's going to be the Abyssal Dragon in the way of Flamingo. But now they want to pincer this middle lane. They find the Zero. Zeus pop his ulti out, but here comes the rest of Flamingo. That doesn't matter. Their focus is the top tower, and they will walk away with it.
Red team tower has been destroyed.
Pretty worth it if you put the math to work. They did manage to pick up a Violet, an Abyssal Dragon, and a tower at the cost of losing one of the towers. I would say it's pretty worth it. Slick Sting coming up for Fennec. You see how quickly Yena's clearing off those lanes. What's that? Hing 2K, both of them just rubbing shoulders there at the bot lane. And look at that, with the panic, you know, right on time, 9 minutes plus, they will go for the Dark Slayer. Jungle clearing before the next team fight.
Dragon has been summoned. Here's trouble.
They're just dropping an ultimate there alongside the Sunshine. They try to bring a little bit of damage once again. That Del-Chan, the Alice and Del-Chan combo coming up. Previously it was Alistair and now it is Del-Chan. It doesn't matter what kind of mage combos with Alice, it's gonna hurt a lot because of that ultimate. But right now, they are trying to force their way down the middle turret. They will get the first one or the second one in the middle lane. And Fennec's probably gonna clean this one up really quickly as well.
Has been destroyed. Explosive.
Alice in front line, Violet dangerously far away from the Vessel team. And at this point, it looks like, you know, Flamingos, they just don't care. Like, they don't care if it's a Balda, if it's a Violet, whoever's at the front, they're just probably just gonna have to bring them down. They have so many lanes to clear up though. Trying to bring him down. They bring out 1, 2, and 3. That is 3 down for the count. Fennec going on a rampage right here. Might be to get Liana. Not before they bring him down. And there's one more in the bag. That chain storm was just too much. Triple Q. And Fennec will immediately respawn. But that is 2 tier 3 towers for the count. And this is pretty much GG. I see no way that Baby Shark can come on one more push. And that should do the trick.
Tower has been destroyed.
I mean, 13 minutes in, 3 tier 3 towers down, base is empty. This is looking really bad for Baby Shark. Just gonna take the away jungle, and this is just really good discipline coming from Flamingo. I know they can end the game, and this is the thing that a lot of people do not know is even if you're ahead, right, what you can do is just soak out damage. Look at that, they're just drawing Baby Shark out, and they just lost for words because you have no reply to that. Like if you don't go out of the base, you lose your jungle farm, you know, your opponents get stronger, they get the Dark Slayer, they force their way in. No, but if you go out there, you get ganked. So that's the threat that you have. And now it's just Flamingo finishing what they started at. It's gonna be another 2-0. In fact, every single game on the English stream has been a 2-0 thus far. I mean, what can I say? Clinical finishing coming up from the side of Flamingos. They will walk away as the winners of the second round, and they will head into semifinals where the rest of the teams are already awaiting for them. If I'm not wrong, we do have a pretty strong semifinals. So we'll also have to check up on the game between We Gaming as well as Taron Go to actually know who was the winners. But there we have it, Flamingos walking away 2-0 as your winners. Can't really complain too much, and not much to break down as well. It's just a team that was so comfortable. They're looking to be favorites of the Vietnam region, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Like, even in the last game, that was really close. Like, against Black Cats, that 2-0 that they won, that second game, man, it was so close. Black Cats almost got one back in the back, but it was just too little too late. They tried to bring it down, and that Alice, man, I have to say, like, Nice is insane. She's outperforming everyone so far. You know, her Alice, you know, she's played I think it was Zeke as well. So whatever support she's playing, true to the role of the support, she does make the whole team gel together. When she was playing Zip, she's constantly, you know, making those last ditch saves to keep a team alive. When she was playing Alice, she's zoning out opponents, she's making sure the team has magical boost in terms of damage. We see it we see that combination alongside with Vetty, who's playing either the Delchan or the Alistar, whatever mage she's playing, it seems to gel well. And Flamingo, everything is going good for them. With that being said, my name's Aries. Remember, you can catch me as well as FSL live tomorrow as well, same timing. That's gonna be at GMT +7 at 12 o'clock. That's when we will start our semi-finals, and then we will also get that grand finals going. We'll also find out who is our third, fourth placement. But before we end the game off, I want end the stream off, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Dreamcore, Super Solid, Aftershock, and Yahoo. We'll go for one more advertisement break, but when we see you tomorrow, it will be the semi-finals of the Vietnam region for AoV. I'll see you too.